Deep within the plant, massive piles of fermented cocoa beans are received destined to become velvety chocolate through a careful roasting procedure. Towering silos loom above, storing tons of pure sugar and fresh milk powder waiting to blend into that classic creamy texture. Huge stainless steel tanks mix, slowly folding rich cocoa butter into the milk solids until the mixture transforms into a shiny liquid stream. This liquid gold is conched for hours, grinding away every rough particle to ensure the coating dissolves the moment it hits the tongue. As the chocolate tempers, another line prepares the bar's core using high-quality wheat flour water and a dash of salt. The batter is whipped to a light, airy state, guaranteeing the internal structure will deliver that famous audible snap. Heavy gas plates press down on the thin batter, baking large sheets until they turn golden brown and crisp to the touch. Inspectors in white suits check every sheet, leaving the oven, rejecting any that display even minor flaws. These fragile toasted sheets move along a cooling belt, allowing them to stiffen properly before reaching the filling stage. A secret savory paste made from crushed roasted wafers and sweet chocolate cream is prepared to bond the crispy layers securely. Robotic arms smear the thick cocoa paste evenly over the bottom sheet, ensuring every inch receives a generous flavor coating. Another golden sheet is stacked on top, followed by more cream, building the bar's signature multi-layered architecture. A heavy roller gently compresses the sandwich, fusing the layers into a block without crushing the delicate air pockets inside. High-speed blades cut through the wafer blocks with surgical accuracy, creating individual fingers ready to be robed in milk chocolate. The bare wafer fingers separate on the belt, spaced perfectly so the flowing chocolate curtain can cover every side evenly. They glide under a waterfall of tempered milk chocolate, burying the crispy interior in a warm, soft blanket of cocoa. Air jets blow away excess liquid, managing the weight and creating the smooth finish we expect to see when opening the package. The coated bars enter a long refrigerated tunnel where cold air circulates to harden the cocoa butter and set the shell. They emerge from the dark, hard and glossy, snapping cleanly if bent, proving the tempering worked and the structure is solid. Before wrapping, samples are tested to ensure the balance between crunch and cream is absolutely flawless. Quality assurance breaks a bar in half to hear that sharp crack, signaling a perfect bake and temper. Optical scanners check every millimeter of the surface for scuffs or bubbles that could ruin the bar's visual appeal. A master taster verifies the mouthfeel, ensuring the wafer stays crunchy while the chocolate melts smoothly without graininess. Any bars failing these strict rules are pulled immediately and ground down to become filling for the next batch. Thousands of perfect fingers race along the steel belt at speeds the eye can barely track. Smart sensors detect each bar's alignment and robotic guides nudge them into single-file lanes for the wrappers. Giant rolls of iconic red foil unspool overhead, feeding the hungry machines that seal freshness into every pack. The foil forms a tube around the moving bars before heated jaws clamp down to cut and seal the ends. This cold seal tech ensures the delicate chocolate inside doesn't melt from the machine's heat during this rapid process. Every wrapped bar crosses a sensitive scale, verifying the net weight matches the label exactly down to a fraction of a gram. As a final safety step, the sealed bars pass through a metal detector to guarantee no foreign objects are inside. Mechanical paddles sort the bars into groups of 4 or 6, preparing them to be boxed for bulk shipping. Robotic arms with suction cups lift the groups and place them gently into display boxes without damaging the product. Automated fingers fold and glue the display boxes shut, working non-stop around the clock to meet global demand. Laser-guided vehicles pick up full cases and stack them on wooden pallets, building stable towers for the warehouse. This single facility makes millions of bars daily, supplying the continent with a reliable, consistent chocolate wafer experience. Between shifts, the line is steam cleaned and sanitized to maintain the sterile environment needed for world-class food production. Even outside the factory, the sweet scent of roasting cocoa and baking wafers hangs in the air, tempting passers-by. Soon, these bars will sit on shelves, waiting for a customer to unwrap the foil and enjoy a well-deserved break. The cycle restarts as trucks unload more raw cocoa and flour, ensuring the production line never stops day or night. Under a microscope, the wafer reveals a honeycomb structure, trapping air essential for the light texture, contrasting with the dense coating. Engineers monitor humidity closely because even a little moisture can ruin the crispness before the chocolate seals it in. In the mixing room, large tanks keep the chocolate moving to prevent cocoa butter from separating and spoiling the emulsion. The schedule signals a changeover, meaning lines must be purged for a limited edition matcha green tea run. Sacks of fine green tea powder from distant fields are measured and blended into the white chocolate base for a bright hue. The flowing river of brown chocolate transitions to pale pastel green as the aromatic new mixture fills the machines. Factory air shifts from roasting cocoa to the earthy, grassy notes of premium matcha circulating through the vents. Wafer fingers travel through the emerald curtain, getting a coating that offers a bitter counterpoint to the sweet white chocolate. Since white chocolate melts differently, the cooling tunnel temp is adjusted precisely to ensure this blend sets without blooming. Packaging machines automatically swap roles, replacing the classic red foil with a soft green wrapper indicating the botanical flavor. Sourcing these ingredients involves a global network of farmers meeting the rigorous standards of this confectionery giant. Labs analyze sugar particle sizes as crystals that are too large would create a sandy texture in the final product. As bars leave the enrober, a small roller removes dripping tails to ensure the bottom stays perfectly flat. Vibration tables gently shake the wet bars to release trapped air bubbles that might mar the smooth surface. Every bean is tracked to certified sustainable farms, ensuring the indulgence supports the communities growing the raw cacao. Heat from the roasting ovens is recycled to warm the factory floor, blending industrial efficiency with eco-responsibility. If you lined up a single day's production, the chocolate trail would stretch for miles, connecting cities with sweetness. Many operators have worked these lines for decades, tuning machinery by ear and instinct to maintain the sweet symphony's rhythm. On another line, a dark chocolate version is made with more cocoa solids for those who prefer an intense flavor. This robust blend needs longer conching to mellow the beans' acidity while keeping deep, complex, fruity notes. Dark chocolate flows over the wafers, creating a glossy black coat that looks sophisticated and smells rich and slightly bitter. The bitterness of the 70'd cocoa shell contrasts strikingly with the sweet cream and crisp wafer hidden inside. Overhead cameras track every wrapper's position to ensure the logo is perfectly centered before the mechanical jaws cut. Maintenance crews wear color-coded uniforms to distinguish themselves from food handlers, preventing contamination between zones. In some markets, the factory tries wild flavors like sake or sweet potato, requiring different hoppers and mixing protocols. The physics of the snap is determined by the ratio of cocoa butter crystals formed during the crucial cooling phase. Between baking cycles, automated brushes clean the iron plates, removing charred crumbs that could add a burnt taste. Tankers arrive daily to pump liquid sugar through heated pipes into the mixing room where it joins the milk base. For the chunky variety, chocolate is poured into molds first before the wafer is inserted into the liquid center. These molds vibrate violently to ensure the thick shell has no air pockets and perfectly replicates the logo on top. Thicker bars need a longer stay in the Arctic chill of the cooling tunnel to remove heat from the core. As molds flip, a gentle tap releases the solid bars, which tumble onto the belt with a satisfying thud. The wrapper adjusts its opening for the extra height, pulling foil tight without tearing on the sharp corners. Waste is almost non-existent. Even foil trimmings are baled for recycling to minimize the factory's environmental footprint. Massive roof filters scrub exhaust air so the neighborhood smells pleasant, not overwhelmingly like a giant oven. Back in the lab, a probe presses on the bar, measuring the exact force in newtons needed to break a finger. Samples are kept in heated cabinets to simulate tropics, ensuring the bar won't melt during hot summer shipping. The finished warehouse is a cool, dark cathedral of chocolate where cranes retrieve stock based on the oldest expiry dates. Refrigerated trucks seal tight against the docks to maintain the cold chain while loading the precious cargo. From this hub, bars disperse into the world, finding their way into lunchboxes and candy bowls in millions of homes. The wrapping line's speed is mesmerizing, a blur of red and silver processing nearly 500 bars a minute. Listening closely, the conveyor's rhythmic clatter acts as a mechanical heartbeat, driving the production flow forward. Natural vanilla extract is added during final mixing to round out the flavor and enhance the milk's creamy notes. During holidays, production shifts into high gear with special gift boxes and shapes requiring new molds and packaging. Batter fermentation is strictly timed as it dictates bubble size in the wafer and the lightness of the bite. A mesh belt carries wafers to the enrober, letting chocolate coat the underside while the top gets the heavy curtain. Beyond metal detectors, sophisticated X-rays peer inside packages to verify the product is intact and complete. Before entering the floor, employees pass through an air shower, blasting away dust to keep zones sterile. The bar's trapezoidal shape is designed for easy mold removal and to make it simple for consumers to snap. Inside the cooling tunnel, temps drop in zones to prevent thermal shock, which could crack the chocolate or turn it grey. Nothing is wasted. Misaligned bars are melted down to reclaim cocoa butter, which is just as valuable as cocoa solids. While the recipe stays constant, packaging adapts to languages and cultures, making the brand feel local everywhere. Acoustics engineers study the snap frequency because sound is crucial to the sensory experience of a crispy wafer. Heated jackets wrap storage pipes to keep liquid chocolate at exactly 40 degrees Celsius so it flows like silk. The wire cutter separating wafer sheets is cleaned constantly to prevent sticky cream from tearing the delicate layers. Logistics teams track weather patterns to avoid shipping during heat waves without proper refrigeration to protect the cargo. Tempering magic aligns crystals into a tight structure, giving the finished bar its glossy sheen and melt resistance. When eaten, mouth heat melts the chocolate, instantly releasing sweet aroma as teeth crash through the dry center. This simple mix of flour, sugar, and cocoa has remained unchanged for decades, proving some classics don't need improvement. Robotic palletizers stack heavy boxes with precision, building square towers wrapped in plastic for stability. Trucks pull away, carrying tons of happiness to supermarkets and vending machines across the nation. Miles away, a student buys a bar for a quick sugar rush to power through a night of studying for exams. They tear the red foil to reveal smooth fingers, the first bite offering the familiar comfort of milk chocolate and wafer. Back at the plant, lights never dim as the night shift takes control to keep the chocolate river flowing. Specialized teams disassemble mixing heads for a deep clean, ensuring tomorrow's batch is as fresh as today's. The journey began on a tropical farm and ends here in a moment of joy, proving the power of global food connection. It is more than a candy bar, it's an engineering feat balancing texture and taste in a four-finger format. The machinery's hum becomes an industrial lullaby where steel and sugar collaborate to make sweet moments for the world. Innovation continues as researchers seek to reduce waste and energy use without compromising that high-quality taste. The contrast between a brittle wafer and soft coating remains the gold standard for confectioners mastering texture. Every box leaving the dock represents a promise of consistency. Every bite will taste exactly as you remember. In a busy world, this simple treat offers an excuse to pause, breathe, and enjoy a quiet moment of sweetness. From wheat fields to cocoa groves, the finest natural elements converge to be transformed by heat and pressure into edible gold. That audible crack is a signature of freshness, a sonic guarantee that tempering was precise and moisture kept at bay. Stainless steel shines under factory lights, reflecting the endless parade of brown bars moving toward the wrapper. Behind every automated arm is a dedicated human expert, ensuring the product's soul remains intact through production. By the time you finish this sentence, thousands more bars have been poured, cooled, and wrapped, ready to ship tomorrow. Silos are refilled, ovens reheated, and belts march on because the world's appetite for this crisp delight never sleeps. It is a masterpiece of mass production, a logistics triumph, and a testament to our universal love for sugar and grain. So have a break, have the bar, and appreciate the incredible journey that turned a simple cocoa bean into the treat in your hand.